not just saying that to flatter you. Truly, I have managed to fuck shit up in shockingly impressive ways and still be considered a fairly acceptable person. In some ways, I have actually made it my living, and because I am so good at being publicly terrible, other people feel comfortable telling me about how awful they are at being an adult, and then I try to top them with, "Oh, you think that's bad? Let me tell you about the time that I tried to rescue a decapitated human head from my work." And then they're like, "No, hold my beer." And in the end, I end up with a new best friend because how could you not love a person who couldn't understand where those terrible farting noises were coming from on the bus, but then she realized that they were the noises of the dog toy in her purse that she was leaning on, and everyone looked at her, and so she ended up shaking a rubber foot at them while yelling, "I'm not farting, it's my dog's foot." Answer, you can't. You love them hard. It's weird because we often try to present our fake, shiny, happy selves to others and make sure that we're not wearing too obvious pajamas at the grocery store, but really, who wants to see that level of fraud? No one. What we really want is to know that we're not alone in our terribleness. We want to appreciate the failure that makes us perfectly us and wonderfully relatable to every other person out there who was also pretending that they had their shit together and didn't just eat that onion ring that fell on the floor. Human foibles are what make us us, and the art of mortification is what brings us all together. A lot of people read my books because they love to laugh about all the terrible things that you maybe shouldn't laugh about. And I hope that you find this book just as funny, but there's some really serious and raw stuff in here too, mostly related to my battles with mental illness. If I could choose the themes of my life, I assure you this book would be all about my successful otter rescue and how I became a sexy vampire who is not allergic to dairy, but we don't get to pick who we are. I am still just as broken as I was before, but with better stories and a little more insight into just how fucked up I really am. Even the title for this introduction comes from a conversation I had with a friend where we tried to win worst at adulting, and I pointed out that I could barely even be human and that at most I was just a full-grown mammal, and then I remembered that the thing that makes you a mammal is laying live young instead of eggs and lactating, but I couldn't even lactate properly. But then I remembered that men don't lay live young and they're still mammals, and I thought maybe I needed to consult a science book because I had fucked up the definition, or maybe it was just another situation where men just get a pass because of that whole I own a penis thing. And then my friend was like, "I don't think you're supposed to say that you lay live young." And I was like, I mean, yeah, poor phrasing on my part, but in my defense, I can't even mammal correctly. And she refused to accept that and insisted that I recognize my accomplishments. "You are Jenny Lawson, full-grown mammal," she said encouragingly and with confidence. And I said, "I think you just came up with my next book title." And she was like, "I think you could do better. But guess what? I can't, and now I feel bad again." But fuck that. Fuck feeling bad about eating floor onion rings. Fuck the shame that comes from wearing your clothes to bed so that you're technically never or always in your pajamas. Fuck the people that make you feel bad for glorifying the odd behavior and questionable decisions that make you who you are. Those things are perfectly acceptable. Be good. Be kind. Love each other. Fuck everything else. The only thing that matters is how you feel and how you've made others feel. And I feel okay for the moment, and I make others feel okay by being a barometer of awkwardness and self-doubt. I am Jenny Lawson, full-grown mammal, and I am ready to begin. Chapter 1. I already forgot I wrote this. I don't remember the first time that I noticed I was losing my memory. That sounds like a joke, but I only laughed when I read it again and realized how utterly ridiculous it sounds. Extreme.